following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Welcome in to Friday edition of Main Street Sports. Today on this program presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, Willie DAUNIC. You may know him as the Preds TV play-by-play voice. He'll be filling in for Jeff Him tonight on the Sounds play-by-play call. We'll be joined by him on a variety of topics. We are efforting to get Ty Norris Trackhouse racing ahead of a big weekend here in Nashville at the Super Speedway, so we hope to be able to talk to him. We got the weekend to look ahead to. The Men's College World Series Championship Series is upon us. It will be Ole Miss and Oklahoma, our previews for that. We'll try and attempt to make some sense of the Memphis Grizzlies and their NBA draft last night, who is actually somewhat on the roster at this point. We'll dive headfirst into that. Braves chatter ahead of a big weekend as well against the Dodgers. Because old friends are coming back to town. All that and more, a lot to get to on this Friday edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Over to the Hall of Famer Mo Patton in his racing gear today. Classic, looking fantastic. Mo Patton and the Sundrop kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
Well, I guess Baby Blue wins this week.
Baby Blue. 3
times this week.
Yep.
I wore the Baby Blue, and he likes it.
I do like
We've seen it.
Not the same shirt, though.
No.
Just,
Yeah.
you know, it's funny because I am a blue wearer a lot. I love the navy blue specifically, but I do wear royal and baby blue. But it is interesting, and it's obvious, you know, that we like the colors.
Yeah. I mean, you look at us. I mean, you see the logo.
look at you.
I got it. I got the
two-tone on. Yeah.
I mean, it's inbred in us.
It really is.
I didn't really realize until this week just how much blue, particularly in summer type wear.
Yes.
I have.
Yes.
It's
a good color for summer.
It's a cooling color.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be. So it's a state of mind, Mo.
Well, and
it's a state of mind.
Certainly necessary.
Yeah. But Mo, you don't need a color to tell you you're cool, because you're cool all day long.
Cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Hey.
Hat tip to the late Stuart Scott.
Yeah.
Guys, we got a great show today. Even if we can't pull through with Ty Norris, we have tons of folks, tons of things to talk about, and Willie DAUNIC will be a fantastic guest as well here momentarily. Looking forward to today's show because, Dodgers and Braves series in Atlanta, which means Freddie's getting a ring tonight, and we'll see how the crowd reacts. I'm very interested in it.
It'll be positive, right?
I will tell you what I'm most interested in is, will the television pregame show carry that?
Oh, they'll have.
Oh, I don't think there's any question.
Yeah. Now, whether they carry it live,
no, they'll carry it, and they'll carry it live. They carried Jock Peterson's
they?
earlier this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't watch Braves pregame live very often.
Well, I checked because I wanted to see Jock's. I did not get to see Jorge Soler's, unfortunately. I'm not. I guess I'll watch if I'm around. I'm not gonna go out of my way to make sure that I'm home in time for pregame.
Not gonna set
We'll
a
get
timer.
to that later on. No, but I got some things to say. So.
Well, it's going to be an interesting evening, and
and the game will be pretty interesting too
in the North Atlanta. Yeah, the game should be interesting as well. Yeah. Today, our top story comes from the Victory Formation. Another retirement, this time from Conference USA, current Conference USA member, UAB football coach Bill Clark announced his retirement, citing health concerns. Apparently has some back issues and is going to require a spinal fusion, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
and just, that's a lot of recovery. That's a lot of, physical therapy. You can't coach when you've got to deal with that. And you certainly can't coach in pain that I'm sure he's feeling. So
it's kind of a tough situation. One, I didn't realize he was only 54 years old, but at his age to have something like that going on is pretty tough. And so, best to go ahead and get that taken care of and try to improve that quality of life for the remainder thereof.
Yeah, he's relatively young, relatively fit. It appears.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think that now would be a great time to do it, because you don't want to try to be doing physical therapy when you get too old to be able to do physical therapy. So former Jacksonville State coach Bill Clark, and I'll tell you, it's going to be tough on the South Side for the Blazers over the next couple of years, not having him. Bill Clark retires without ever having had a losing season as a head coach at any level.
And I think, you have to respect, even as a non-Blazer fan, which I would probably consider myself, given their Conference USA membership, and
understandable,
one other member of Conference USA in particular. But, he took that job, and soon after he took it, they shut down football.
His first year ended, and they said,
adios. Thank you. What, Paul Bryant Jr.?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So, and brought it back.
He led the charge to bring it back, and the return doesn't happen without Bill Clark. Bill Clark had opportunities to be coordinators. He could have been head coach. He could have been a head coach at a number of universities, could have gone to be a coordinator at Power 5 schools. Could have been, could have gone to South Alabama and been the head coach. I mean, he had plenty of opportunity, decided to stay in Birmingham, fight for that program, went out and got $5 million in pledges from local businesses, and coordinated with the BJCC to get Protective Stadium built. All of that doesn't happen without Bill Clark. Bill Clark saved UAB football. Not only did he save it, he brought it back. And in the year he brought it back, in their first year back, still didn't have a losing season.
Right.
That's insane.
So you have to recognize and respect that. When you talk about Bill Clark's career, you have to. That chapter can't be left out.
No, it may be the most important chapter of his career.
He saved a football program.
He literally revived it from the dead, and then took it to 2 Conference USA championship games.
Yeah. So
that's insane.
So wish him the best of luck.
Absolutely.
And hopefully he emerges from this episode healthy.
Would love to see him on the sideline again, no matter where it is, even if it's just in a. And he said he would stick around in a consultant type role. So
sure.
I really hope to see him on a sideline once again, because he is a phenomenal football coach, no matter where he may be. All right, that is our top story today. We will send it to JP for all of the scores from yesterday and this weekend schedule on the rundown.
Here's the rundown. The Friday Rundown is brought to you by Chip Walters of Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates. The voice of the Blue Raiders also wants to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Contact Chip at 615-542-1915 or through his website at choosechip.net. Chip Walters, proud to support local youth sports in southern Middle Tennessee. All right, thank you, Chip. Looking at Thursday results in Major League Baseball, the Braves 7-6 winners. As we mentioned yesterday on this show, a day game. 7-6 winners ahead of a weekend series coming up. Pirates took 10, but they defeated the Cubs 8-7. It was the Dodgers 10-5 over the Reds. The Brewers 6-4 winners over the Cardinals. Gwinnett 4-1 winners over the Sounds yesterday, and the weekend will continue here in just a little bit. We'll talk to Willie DAUNIC, who will be filling in for Jeff Him on tonight's call. Coming up, Men's College World Series. Actually, that was yesterday. Ole Miss in that if game. The elimination 2-0 Arkansas. And Deloche, I believe, is that right? The pitcher for Ole Miss?
Not Lelouch, just Deloche.
No, DeLucia.
DeLucia, thank you.
Still in DeLucia.
DeLucia.
With the distance.
Yeah, yes, he did. It was impressive. 2-0 shut them out, and Ole Miss advances to the College World Series Championship Series against Oklahoma starting tomorrow. WNBA last night, it was 94-68 Dallas over Indiana. Minnesota down Phoenix 100-88. It was Seattle 85-71 over Washington, and Chicago big over the Sparks of Los Angeles 82-59. Looking ahead at the weekend schedule. Series,
lopsided victories.
Yeah,
there,
it was. Yeah,
94-68.
Not a whole lot of competitiveness in the W Association last night.
Not last night, not at all.
Did they have any kind of nickname like
Just the W.
I think.
W?
Yeah.
Is that what they call it, the W? Weekend series, of course, the Dodgers Braves. Plenty more on that one to come, so stay tuned. The Blue Jays at the Brewers. St. Louis welcomes the Cubs, and the Reds travel west to take on the Giants out in San Francisco. As I mentioned, the Sounds continue their series with Gwinnett at First Horizon in Nashville. Men's College World Series begins tomorrow, a Saturday, Sunday, and then a Monday if necessary. Best 2 out of 3, Ole Miss and Oklahoma on ESPN. We'll have, of course, all of that. We've talked about it quite a bit. NASCAR, the Cup, all Cup Series, or all 3 divisions actually are in Nashville at the Super Speedway this weekend, or Gladeville to be exact. But the big one on Sunday, the Ally 400, 4 p.m. NBC. By the way, just got confirmation Ty Norris will be joining us.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's fantastic news.
I was making sure that I
Pause
read
for
that.
dramatic effect.
Well, I was reading, make sure, yes, he can do 3 o'clock, so that's good. He said his voice may be a little shot after a couple of events, but he will be joining us, so that's good. So we'll get Ty Norris of Trackhouse Racing to join us coming up at 3 o'clock today. MLS Saturday, Nashville SC will be at DC United at 4 o'clock. It's going to be on the mothership.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen them play, you got a chance there. Nationally televised game for Nashville SC. NHL Game 5 Lightning at the Avalanche, 7 o'clock. That is on Saturday. And ABC, Colorado leads that 1-3. Is that Saturday or is that tonight?
I think it's tonight.
It is tonight. I think so, too, yes. Also, over the weekend, USFL playoffs. We know where this came from. Philadelphia Stars against New Jersey, 2 p.m. on Fox. And New Orleans and Birmingham, 7 p.m. on NBC. This is the first round, right?
The semifinals.
Semifinals, yes.
But yeah.
They had last week off. Is that right?
No. They
played last week? Yeah. Okay. And the CFL. Tonight, Hamilton and Winnipeg on ESPN2 at 7:30. Toronto at BC on Saturday, 9 p.m. Also on the Deuce. So there you go, CFL. We still have a Tennessean on the Toronto staff?
That's a good question. I don't know.
No, he is a head coach
Oh,
Okay.
at Edmonton, I believe, because I saw him on a game over the weekend, maybe.
What's
They were getting beat, which is a good thing if you're from South Pittsburgh.
That's right.
the Elks, no longer the Eskimos.
Right.
That is
All right. So there you go. That's your rundown brought to you by ChooseChip.net. Boys.
all right. Let's take a quick break. Willie Donick on the other side, pinch hitting for the voice of the Sounds, Jeff Him. And I'm sure there will be some mention of the Nashville Predators in this conversation. So stick around on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. We will be back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, While we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
All right, just getting started here on the Friday edition of Main Street Sports Today. A reminder, coming up, we'll be joined by Ty Norris around 3 o'clock. The Trackhouse Racing ahead of a big weekend at Nashville Super Speedway. Also, I don't know, could be fun to some series with the Braves. Freddie Freeman coming back, plenty of chatter around that as well. So plenty to get to here on this Friday edition. Back over to the Clad in Blue Hall of Famer, Mo Patton. By the way, Chris, the last show before he officially receives that little award. Is there a trophy, Mo, for this? Do they give you they're going to hand you something Monday night?
Supposedly.
Yeah. Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year, Mo Patton.
Give me my money.
Give me. That's right.
Be nice. Lovely parting gift.
Lovely parting gift.
Yeah.
Okay.
We might have to steal him for a segment on Monday just to get get the weather report out in
over in Winston-Salem.
Over in Winston-Salem.
Winston-Salem.
And if you happen to see the new Memphis wingman, tell him we said what's up.
You know, there is on the itinerary a tour of the Wake Forest athletic
There you go.
facilities. So
You might see him. He might be hooping.
might run into him. Might run into Steve Forbes. So we'll see.
Got a lot going on, but yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Mo will be in and out next week, literally, like in and out, and in and out,
out and in, basically. So yeah,
it's okay. We'll figure it out. I'm sure. The summer shows are just whatever we can put.
See who shows up.
Yeah, whoever shows up gets to talk. And don't show up if you don't want to talk, is what we're saying. But if you do, 315 West 7th Street here in Columbia. Here we go. Now, you should
Careful with that.
you should show up tonight to First Horizon Park because Huascar Enoa is going for the Stripers 1 peak as they are on they lead the series 2-1 over the Nashville Sounds currently, and Dylan File will take the bump for the Sounds. But pinch hitting for Jeff Him not only tonight on 94.9 ESPN Radio, The Fan, but also today on Main Street Sports Today is Willie DAUNIC. Willie, what's going on, man?
Hello, gentlemen. I hope you can hear me okay.
Oh, yeah.
We can hear you just fine, man. Just want to make mention at this point that Jeff is out of pocket today because his wife's grandmother passed away up in Illinois, and so the family is headed that way for her services. So if you could keep Jeff and his family in your thoughts during, an obviously tough time. Wanted to send our condolences to him and his family during this time. But Willie, appreciate you stepping in for him today and tonight, obviously. former Vanderbilt two-sport athlete, we'll say. So getting back to his roots, doing a little baseball play-by-play. You looking forward to this?
Oh, yeah. And let me pass along my condolences to Jeff and his family as well. I think Jeff is one heck of an announcer, and I think you guys would agree. I think he's a major league announcer that just needs the opportunity. He's gotten a chance, I think, to get a taste of it a couple of times before filling in at the major league level. So I just think his time is going to come. I was at the park last night along with Max Hurst, who's going to be helping me out with the broadcast tonight. It just, you see a pro at work when you sit with Jeff for a few innings there. So we're looking forward to the opportunity. Hopefully I'm not too rusty. Max has probably done more baseball than I have over the last few years because of his involvement with Vanderbilt. But I love doing baseball, and so it's an honor to be able to hop in the booth for a couple of days.
I was going to ask you, when was the last time you'd done baseball?
I filled in for Jeff, I want to say a couple of years ago. The years start running together. I want to say maybe a Labor Day weekend of 2019. I got to do 3 Sounds games there. It's interesting. Adam Wainwright was on a rehab assignment for the Memphis squad, and so I got a chance to see him pitch. And I was doing the game with Kevin Jarvis, who way back when was teammates with Adam Wainwright. So that was a fun night to be able to see that. And a lot of those Memphis players have moved on and are playing every day for the Cardinals right now, like Tommy Edman and some of those guys. And, of course, the Sounds back then were still – I think that was the last year maybe that they were still Oakland. And you had guys like Jesus Luzardo and Laureano and some of the guys. Maybe I don't think Matt Osland was still there that weekend, but it's incredible how many guys go through Nashville and you get a chance to see them play. Mo, I know you can go way back and name some names that we saw before they were stars.
Oh yeah, we could, we won't, but but I'll tell you what though, in the radio booth, we've had some talent come through there as well. You talk about Jeff Hamm being a major league play-by-play announcer who's not there yet, but I mean, you have Bob Jameson come through here. Chip talked about him the other night. He's retired and back in town. Steve Carroll, who is now doing Anaheim hockey.
Yep. Steve
Selby was a major league play-by-play announcer who never got the opportunity. Very unfortunate. But yeah, the talent in the booth for the Nashville Sounds over the years has been quite impressive as well. How does one get ready for pinch hitting in the booth?
Well, I'd like to think I'll be ready from a baseball side. My son is a 16-year-old. He plays high school ball. So between watching a lot of college baseball, watching Major League Baseball, I feel like I watch as much baseball as anybody around who isn't involved, on a daily basis, that being their job. So I think I'm ready from an enthusiasm standpoint, a love of baseball. So I'm up on the game. But I think where I am going to really try to catch up by 7 o'clock tonight is just trying to get familiar with each roster. And that's why I went to the ballpark last night. I watched some of the guys play. A lot of the prospects have already been pressed into duty. We know the Brewers have lost 3 very talented starting pitchers, so they've had to dig down into Nashville to get some players there. It's a great race. I watched some of the Brewers-Cardinals game yesterday, and the Brewers got a big win there. So they're involved in a really good race. And, of course, we know how many Braves fans are in this area. And love that team. My son actually is in Atlanta playing in a travel tournament. He's going to go to that Freddie Freeman game you guys talked about. He's lucky enough to get tickets, and so he'll be watching Freddie Freeman. We'll see if he gets booed tonight, or how many people boo, how many people cheer. It'll probably be a little bit of a mix.
We'll find out. Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be something everybody's going to take note of.
I'm really interested, Mo, because Willie, they kind of threw you into the Wolves as it is Copa de la Diversión weekend. And so the Nashville Sounds will not be the Nashville Sounds this weekend. So have you brushed up on your Spanish?
I took 4 years of Spanish in high school and another couple of classes at Vanderbilt. But my biggest mistake when I graduated from Vanderbilt, I tried to take a shortcut through through the requirements. And so I made a big mistake in taking a class that was actually in Spanish. And when I actually got to the room, I realized that everybody in the class had spent a summer abroad, brushing up on being able to have conversations. So needless to say, I struggled mightily in that class. So I have my limitations, but the basics, I played a couple of years of minor league baseball. So I absolutely loved the interaction with some of the guys at the low minor league level that had just come up from either Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic or Venezuela, and they were learning the language for the first time. So I enjoyed trying to help them along and testing out some of the things that I learned in a classroom.
But you're originally from Florida, though, Willie. So you got that going for you too, right?
Yeah, there's plenty of it down there, no question about it.
Yeah.
The teal.
What is it? Vuvuzelas?
No, that's soccer.
No, okay,
Vihuelas.
Vehuelas. There we go. My bad. I knew that wasn't right when I said it, but I couldn't remember what it was.
Wrong instrument, but that's okay.
What is it Spanish for?
Guitar, I guess. Willie?
Yes, guitar. That's the idea. Is the guitar theme. So I think that's on the uniform tonight. Is that right? There's two sets of these uniforms that they have, I'm told. So one's tonight and one's tomorrow.
Should be fun because there's fireworks tonight too, by the way.
Yep.
Hey, listen, Willie. I've been waiting on fireworks for the first 2 months of the season. Every Friday I ask Jeff, are we having fireworks tonight? No. Finally, fireworks are back.
So are you going tonight?
I might just take a trip to First Horizon. I really want to see Huascar, and obviously anytime the Braves organization's in town, I like to get out there. So probably.
Huascar getting the start for Gwinnett. Obviously, as you mentioned, a lot of Braves fans in the area, 2 of them right here. Drew Waters, I assume, will be playing somewhere in the outfield for the Braves. The Stripers, tonight. Gwinnett has won the last 2 games of this series. Correct. After the Sounds won the opener.
Correct.
Sounds are still up a game and a half in the division standings over both Columbus and Memphis. So if you care about that kind of thing, this is a pretty big ball game.
It is. It's a 6-game series, which is really, really wild. I wonder if the guy that starts game 1, I haven't looked at it yet, but if the guy that starts game 1, will he get a second start in the series, or would you rather just find a 6th guy so you don't see the same guy twice in the same series? But they'll be very familiar with each other before the end of the weekend. It's just so great, I think, that the Sounds have teams from this area. It's not as crazy. And you guys remember the old PCL when they went to that. There were some crazy times. You guys were talking about some of the former play-by-play announcers, and Jeff had to do it for a while there, hopping on a plane. You go to Fresno and you go out to Vegas and Portland. A lot of long rides, a lot of long layovers there. It makes much more sense now the way they have it laid out, and much better for, I think, people in our area to relate. When you can see Gwinnett come in more often.
Oh, definitely. I think, you've got Gwinnett coming in. You've got Louisville, which is Cincinnati's AAA team. Obviously, Memphis, as you mentioned earlier, the St. Louis AAA club. So there's a lot more teams and a lot more players that area fans have some familiarity with, either on the way up or on the way down, probably. So I do think that this, while it has taken some getting used to, has probably been a better fit for minor league baseball in this area. So it's been fun. I think it's kind of odd the way it all kind of came about. But Willie DAUNIC pinch hitting for Jeff Hem here on Main Street Sports today as we take a look at the Sounds. They've got the remainder of this series against Gwinnett at home off on Monday, and then 6 more as Indianapolis comes to town. So nice little 12-game homestand for the Sounds.
Always nice to be at First Horizon Park. That is a beautiful park, is it not, Willie?
I love it. It's so scenic, and I thought the weather was beautiful last night. It's not quite as bad. We had a couple of days there that it was rough to be outside for sure. But I think the layout is so cool. I think we always, and Mo, you go back to, I can remember coming to some games at Greer Stadium. We dreamed about having something like this now. And now we almost take it for granted. There's so many things going on. We got the races back at the Nashville Super Speedway this weekend. You got the Monster Jam coming. But, I mean, they had 9,000 there last night. And I think they're going to, customarily, you almost expect weekend games to sell out no matter what the situation is, no matter what's going on in town, even now that we have Major League Soccer. So I just think we've grown so much as a sports city, and because it is a first-class facility for sure. And the other thing I notice every time I go over there is when you park back in Germantown somewhere and you just walk, there's so many people out and about. There's cool places to hang out before and after the game. So it's really come to fruition, and it gets better every year.
Willie, before we let you go, we have to get your thoughts on a couple of things with the Predators. One, Philip Forsberg. 2, Bill Haslam. And 3, Roman Josi. Quick thoughts on those 3 topics. Do you see the Predators with number 9 in the lineup next year?
Okay, so we'll take them one at a time. You're right. This is another sign of a growing sports city. Mm-hmm. Where, hockey topics can be top of mind in late June. Philip Forsberg, I still think there's a really large percentage. I'm about 75%. I still am confident that when the pressure really gets on and the calendar turns to July, that you're going to see some real negotiations and they'll find a deal. I'm of the belief that Philip Forsberg would like to stay, and the Predators would like to keep him. And I think when you have those two feelings, you find a way to get a deal done. I feel like the Predators have not offered their best offer. I think they're trying to get him signed at a number that they can still retain enough cap space to address the needs of the roster, because I think they all feel like they want to win a championship. The more cap space they have to address 2 or 3 changes that they'd like to make to go from being a good team to a team that can really contend. Colorado's on the verge of winning the Cup tonight. And if they win tonight, they will have gone 16-3 in the playoffs, which is really, really tough to do. So the domination they had of the Predators maybe puts in a little perspective. I think that's the bar that you're trying to set. You've got to try to, because Colorado's not going to go anywhere for a while. They're going to be different, but they're going to be really good for the next few years. So Nashville has to get better to do that. So they're preparing for life without Philip Forsberg. There is a chance he doesn't sign, but I still think the probability is in a pretty strong way. I think they'll find a way to get a deal done with number 9.
Bill Haslam.
I really like the fact that this ownership group, that you go back to 2007 when Herb Fritsch and Tom Sigeran and David Freeman, those guys came out of nowhere to help save the team. And those first few years, there was a transition. They didn't have the super deep pockets to where they could just kind of say, hey, we've got it. Everything's good. They worked extremely hard to build the value of the franchise, build the fan base. And now they get this infusion of Bill Haslam, who does have deep pockets, has a deep love for the state. I think has grown to appreciate hockey a lot more. He'd be the first to tell you he's a sports fan, but he's like a lot of us, right? We were sports fans when the Predators came to town, but we weren't necessarily hockey fans. But over a generation of time, you get more and more familiar on different levels. And he said that run to the Cup final in 2017, he went from one level of fan, just to, hey, I enjoy that we have it here, to, hey, this is pretty cool stuff. I want to dive in more. And now here he is. He's going to become one of the ownership group and steadily become the majority owner. I think it's nothing but positive for the franchise, because it never hurts to have some financial muscle to add to an already pretty strong franchise.
Roman Josi.
Finally, Roman Josi. There were 17 people in the voters, which is around 200 total, that voted him 3rd. There were 3 that voted him 4th, and there was 1 that left him off the ballot altogether. I think that's what people are really struggling with the way it turned out. Cale Makar, who you're going to watch play tonight, is a phenomenal defenseman. I think Roman Josi deserved the Norris Trophy. He actually got 6 more first-place votes than Cale Makar. But Makar won because the 20 or so voters had Roman Josi in a 3rd or lower position. That's what really tipped the scales. That was the most surprising thing, and that, I think, is the sore spot for a lot of the Predator fans, because I think some people just almost overthought it. 96 points. What more can you say? He's already won the award. It's not like he ignores defense. Roman Josi is a very good defenseman. He carried the Predators. So I think nobody's buying the argument that you would put him 3rd or lower on a ballot. If Makar had won it, that's understandable. And Makar did win it, but the way it happened is going to sting for a while.
No question. Willie DAUNIC in for Jeff Him tonight. 7:05 first pitch at First Horizon Park. You can hear him on 94.9 The Fan alongside Max Hers, friend of the show.
Yep.
Willie, thank you for taking some time with us today, man. We really appreciate it.
Guys, I love talking baseball. I will do my best over the next 3 days to not call the Sounds the Predators at all.
Good luck.
If that happens, no mulligans allowed there. I got to make sure that doesn't happen.
I think it's going to be warm enough out there that won't be a problem.
Okay, good. Thanks for the confidence.
All right, man.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Men's College World Series, the curse of the Omahogs continues. We'll be back after this. Main Street Sports Day presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Stick with us. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Well, the curse of the Omahogs apparently still exists. Ole Miss with the win yesterday. Before the great stuff by Willie.
Oh yeah,
good stuff. Willie's about as versatile as it comes.
Oh yeah, really appreciate Jeff for hooking us up
Absolutely.
with Willie before he had to step out for a couple of days. So I guess Willie's going to be taking it the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, it's good to know. Good and great for the Sounds to have a couple of great voices in the booth. You don't get much better than those two. And eventually Max Hers is going to be a household name in some market. I don't know that it'll necessarily be here, but it'll be somewhere because he's really, really good.
Yeah, he's really, really good. He's really, really young and got a chance to, learn a lot from a lot of different people and seems to be taking advantage of it. So
Absolutely.
kudos to him.
College World Series, Oklahoma, Ole Miss this weekend in the championship series. Ole Miss gets a chance to continue the Magnolia State's run as the Jello Shot Challenge. Ole Miss now over 9,000 in the Jello Shot Challenge. You wonder how they're keeping up with with making the Jello shots, right?
They're keeping up with making them?
Yeah.
You mean like the actual
The production of, yeah.
Jello shots? Yeah.
Because I mean, Jello, you have to
That's true.
refrigerate it for at least 24 hours. Or
It
so.
takes a little time.
At least a little bit. And if somebody's buying 1,000, well, here's the trick.
Okay.
The secret is they actually have been purchasing Slurp, which is a pre-made Jello shot, like packaged deal. So, Slurp came in. Shout out to Greg for making the Cannonball run from Kansas City with a truckload of cases to get us through the weekend. We're here to party, just waiting on y'all. And there are 5 bartenders standing in front of about 20 cases of Slurp Jello shots. So it's going to get wild in Omaha.
So they are not actually making the Jello
Correct.
shots on site. They are purchasing Jello shots
Correct.
from somewhere else.
From
But you still got a store.
yeah, I guess they have
Have an
freezer
outside
or a-
freezer, fridge, or something.
They have
portable. You got to have something.
but
Refrigerated trailer sounds
Exactly. Yeah, like an 18-wheeler refrigerated trailer. You have to.
right. And
Jello on wheels.
they are now extending the donation. $2 for every shot purchased by Oklahoma fans will go to the Oklahoma Food Pantry, OU Food Pantry. So this is getting crazy.
Where is Oklahoma? You said Ole Miss is at 9,000.
93.
Where's Oklahoma? Oklahoma Hall.
Oklahoma Hall. They
Uh-huh.
are currently at last report 489.
Oh,
489.
Yeah.
oh.
And Ole Miss.
Not 4,080. No, 489.
All right.
Where's Arkansas?
8512.
Yeah.
So about 800-ish down.
You know, if Oklahoma, if you really want to join the SEC, you're gonna have to pick up your game.
Really? Because I mean, even
you say you want to come join
has,
the SEC.
Notre Dame has out Jello shot
Well,
Oklahoma.
yeah, that doesn't shock me. I mean,
Catholics?
yeah, I mean they have real wine at church.
Yeah,
so at
but
mass.
it's
Yeah.
I really don't see a whole lot of
They're kind of built for this, right?
Exactly.
I don't
yes.
I mean I don't know if I have ever seen a whole lot of Catholics just knocking back Jello shots though. There's a difference between wine and Jello shots.
True.
There's a difference.
Well, I mean, how would you know, though?
I guess.
You don't know if somebody's Catholic or not.
you're
when
right.
they're knocking back a Jello shot.
No. Well, if you're knocking back a Jello shot, yeah, you're my people. So I'm.
Yeah.
Let me
No
tell
matter
you.
what religion, right?
I don't care. I don't care what. Yeah, doesn't matter to me.
So I guess now isn't the time to say that I'm not a huge Jello fan.
So I will tell you, I'm not a huge Slurp Jello shots fan. We tried them.
Okay. All right.
They're not
So
good.
there's a difference here. Define the difference between the slurp Jello shot you're talking about and just a regular molded Jello shot.
Well, the difference is the alcohol they use, and you can absolutely taste the alcohol in this
So
Slurp Jello
Oh,
shot.
so it's a little heavy, huh?
Or it's bad vodka, probably just cheap vodka. If I
Mm.
had to
the well
guess.
vodka, yeah, or less,
Mm.
And so like
gets the job done.
there are places like, there are some bars that have the automatic Jello shot maker where you just put the
Okay.
vodka on the top and then it circles through the Jello shots. It makes the Jello shots for you and that sort of thing. And
As it comes out of
Yeah.
or it's already it's I guess so it funnels through there and the consistency of which that it automatically kind of congeals.
no,
to-
it actually goes into cups.
Okay.
So it's pretty neat. Those are really good.
Yeah.
Those are mixed well. These are not.
Pre-made Jello shots.
But I'm not. I mean, hey, if that's how you got to get it done, that's how you got.
Oh,
get it
nothing
done.
wrong with that.
It sounds like a little bit of a cheat to me. But when you're selling
at that level.
what
At that level,
40,000 of them,
Yeah.
or
well, it's around 30,000, I would say.
Wow.
Because about
Well,
20 between Arkansas and Ole Miss, but the rest of them are like 415, 576, 489, 304,
Oh.
198.
Amateurs.
Yeah,
So
and
it's-
Texas A&M at 1,300. So
okay, so so Ole Miss, Arkansas, and A&M are the only ones upwards of
In-
1,000.
yes, surprise, surprise.
Just means more.
Just and everything. I don't care if we're playing tiddlywinks
Everything.
or drinking Jello shots.
I'm telling you.
George, it means more.
What? Who was the? Where's Auburn? Oh, never mind. We talked about Auburn.
415.
Yeah.
Which is interesting for a team that was there
As long as they were.
as long as they were. So y'all got to figure it out, man. Texas 304. Sheesh.
I'm telling you. If you want to come to the SEC,
I'm
pick up your
almost
game.
tempted to call Greg Sankey and ask him to remove their.
Yeah, you might want to rethink this whole thing.
I don't think they're ready.
They ain't
I
ready.
wasn't ready.
They ain't ready. They ain't ready.
But
Goodness.
anyway, the curse of the Omahawks continues as how do we get this information to Arkansas, or do we care to get this information to Arkansas? Because honestly,
Well, I
don't-
mean, as long as they don't do something about it, then we don't have to worry about them. Apparently, so
this is what I'm saying.
so maybe we.
Just let them.
well, I think it's worth at least one, maybe tag. Have you ever found the actual logo of those
Of the Omaha.
of the Omaha, the turn of the century,
Oh,
the
the
previous-
Omaha.
the Omaha Omahogs from
1887.
to
From
yeah
to 1901.
yeah
Well,
Teddy Roosevelt years, roughly.
I've not found any particular logo per se, but yeah. So no,
Yeah, the logo was probably an O and then followed by
and
an O.
that's probably about
'Cause
it.
that's the logos they had back then, right?
If anything,
Yeah.
they probably. I mean, there's some trading cards out
So
there.
maybe we could have a little fun with that. Create our own little.
There is an Omaha Omahogs Twitter account apparently at
Oh,
Omaha Omahogs.
Well-
Interesting. Now, is that from an Arkansas side of things, or
yes,
Is it?
it is. It's an upside down Razorback head. So, and they haven't tweeted since 2015.
Hmm.
I mean, all I know is there has to be some sort of acknowledgement,
That this is not original.
and I think that could go a long way in easing the curse's mind.
yeah, just provide existence. We acknowledge,
Pay your respects.
pay the respects. That's it. Pay your respects. Maybe we just politely. Hey, I don't know if you're aware, but maybe pay your respects and come up with something. I don't know what they would do the next time, because they'll get back.
Yeah, they'll be back.
They'll be back.
There's no question. Anyway,
And the curse will be waiting for it.
Curse didn't go anywhere.
not unless they do something. So, all right, let's take a quick break. Braves on the other side of the break, so stick around. Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint, is back after this.
The city famous for its music is quiet now, but it's about to be overwhelmed by the symphony of speed. Nashville Superspeedway will be rocking from the pit to the grandstand. June 24th through 26th, the Ally 400 NASCAR Cup Series race weekend brings a mix of incredible racing and live entertainment. Tickets are going fast, so visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com today and join the full throttle fun.
All right, welcome in the second half of Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mo. It happens to me too. I do it to myself as well.
He does.
I do.
It
So
does
it's
make me feel a little better.
good. I'm trying to send you off with good vibes for your trip, for your recognition. Second half, we'll be joined by Ty Norris, Trackhouse Racing, ahead of a big weekend in Nash Vegas. Compliments to George Hamilton V there with that. The Ally 400 coming up this weekend, so we'll chat about that. Also, look ahead of the weekend, but we've got some talking to do. Mo, the Hall of Famer, has something on his mind. It's our Daily Brave segment. So without further ado, gentlemen.
Just before we get off this topic, there's a picture that has surfaced from 2015 at Goodnight's Bar. The College World Shot Series from 2015. The leader in the clubhouse was Arkansas with 135. LSU at 109 and Vandy at 71.
There you go. Okay.
That was prior to Vandy winning. Didn't they win in 15?
No, they won in 14. They finished second in 15.
So anyway, the game has certainly changed over the years.
Yeah.
Just like inflation.
I wonder if that was the first year or something.
It's a different bar. And I mean, obviously Twitter wasn't doing what it does back then.
There you go. Twitter, do your thing.
Yeah. So anyway, tonight, the Atlanta Braves host former first baseman Freddie Freeman. I was going to say welcome, but I'm not sure if it will be, in fact, a welcome. I don't know. Some people will certainly welcome him. Others will likely not. And I'm really interested to see how this is going to go, Mo.
I think overall he's going to be welcomed.
Sure.
And welcomed warmly, and probably should. My ideal situation would be that he gets a long, lengthy standing ovation when he receives his ring, and much less so when he comes to bat. I mean, you know, it's not like
you're the enemy when that first pitch is thrown.
And it would be different if he had been traded, if he had been cut, right? I mean,
sure.
Does that make sense?
Sure. If it were not of his own doing.
Yeah.
At least somewhat of his own doing. I had an argument, I don't know if you saw it on Twitter, about this. And it's weird because I actually turned to your original argument is at some point we have to say the agent works for him, right? And
what's weird about that?
Well, it's weird that, you know, instead of me going with mine, argument, whatever my argument may have been,
my argument was sound.
It's a perfect argument. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It was a perfect argument because we have to acknowledge that the fact is his agent didn't do anything Freddie told him not to do. And if he was really mad, he wouldn't still be
he wouldn't still be his agent.
So there you go.
I mean,
that's the bottom line.
The bottom line is if Freddie Freeman still wanted to be a Brave, he would be. End of discussion.
And kind of going back to what Willie said, you know, with Forsberg wants to be here, the Predators want him
and I thought that I was thinking about this during that conversation. The Predators want Forsberg here. Forsberg wants to be here. So you would like to think they could get it worked out. Well,
it's not always the case.
It's clearly. But again, there was a communications breakdown somewhere in all of that. I don't know if it was between Freddie and his agent or what, but and we'll never know. But I bet Freddie wishes he had been a little bit more proactive throughout that process now than he apparently was. You know, we heard Jeffrey Simmons of the Titans say last week his team is handling all that. Guys, your team isn't the one that's got to play and put on a uniform somewhere.
That's a big issue with, and I think it's a lot of players get caught up in the, well, I don't want to take my mind off of my performance. And that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point you have to tell your team whatever it takes to get it done for me to be here, you got to get it done. And here's what I'm willing to do. Now, if they don't meet this bare minimum,
then fine.
But
this is where I want to be. Make that happen. And certainly don't go issuing any ultimatums on my behalf.
Please and thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem to be too much to ask.
That is kind of the big issue here.
And the bigger issue to me is Freddie kind of threw the Braves front office under the bus in the aftermath.
Immediately in the aftermath, he did. I think he's kind of walked some of that back.
Well, as well he should have.
But I do think that I think emotion may have gotten the better of him in that press conference when he said, "I saw the tears. That's all I'll say." I think he was still in shock a little. I do think that he feels that he is upset. I do feel like he wishes he were in Atlanta still. That being said, he's not. Well, he is tonight, but for the weekend. But this Braves team, as you said, have found their way without him due to completely out of nowhere after the first 3 weeks of the season, Dansby Swanson.
You said Dansby was the best defensive shortstop in the game earlier this year. He might be the best shortstop in the game.
Period.
Right now.
Who knew?
It's hotter than the weather.
And that's hot.
Yeah. So this is going to be an interesting series for a couple of reasons, one of which is Mookie Betts isn't going to be playing, I don't believe.
That's right. Yeah, Mookie is out still.
So what's your number? You wanting 2 out of 3 this weekend?
You got to win the series. I think you got to win the series just for, you just beat the Giants who won that division last year. Obviously, you beat this team last year in the
NLCS.
In the NLCS.
There we go.
You really feel like you're the better team. You got to go out and prove it, especially when you have the pitchers going that you have going. You've got Ian Anderson, Max Fried, and I assume Spencer Strider. I don't know who's pitching Sunday.
I would think it's Strider. But,
that's a really good question. You never know because Strider just had
is Strider.
A little tough outing, so I didn't know if the Braves might go somewhere else.
Now it's Tony Gonsolin, who is 9-0 with a 1.58 ERA for the Dodgers on Sunday.
Yeah, I feel like you could probably punt that one, but then again, those are the type games that the Braves tend to win.
Yeah. So
9-0.
9-0 with a 1.58. Yeah, they're going to throw some arms at you this weekend. The Dodgers are. I mean, you've got Urias tonight. Urias is 4-6.
Yeah, but we broke him.
But he's got a 2.56 ERA.
We broke him.
And then Andrew Haney 1-0, 0.59 going against Fried tomorrow. So should be a fun series. I think you'll hear the boos, but I think it'll be an overwhelming warm welcome for him. And
and by the way, Sunday is Sunday Night Baseball.
The Braves 4 games behind the Mets coming into the weekend. Who the Mets play this weekend?
The Mets have Miami at Miami.
Okay. Maybe Jorge and Jazz will help us out a little bit this weekend. So we'll see how that goes. I hear the music.
That means take us back in time.
Absolutely. June 24th, 2014. BJ and Justin Upton each hit solo home runs.
Up in here.
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Yep. As the Braves won 3-2 at Houston. They've done that before. They've done it since. It was the 4th time the Upton brothers had homered for Atlanta in the same game since joining the team in 2013, tying an MLB record. The first 3 times they did it came in their first 20 games of 2013.
Oof. So. And then almost a year or more later.
More than a year.
More than a year later. They did
it number 4.
There you go. Dodgers Braves this weekend. When we come back, Ty Norris, Trackhouse Racing president, will join us on Main Street Sports Today. Stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Chris Yao alongside Mo Patton, JP Plant on the controls. And looking forward to this next segment as we round out and finish the week talking NASCAR 3 times this week. We have talked about this Nashville Superspeedway weekend coming up that will culminate on Sunday at 4 o'clock with the Ally 400. And based on this season, you got to think the 1 and the 99 could certainly be in contention by the end of the race on Sunday. Those are Trackhouse Racing's Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez, who will be in that pink and purple Tootsie's Orchid Lounge ride. And to talk about it, we have with us now Ty Norris of Trackhouse Racing. Ty, what's going on, man?
Well, I'm sitting here at the racetrack. We've had a massive week, and finally got to the racetrack. I told him, I was like, we were fortunate enough with Daniel Suarez to win at Sonoma. Then we had a weekend off, and then straight into Nashville, where we had sponsor summits, and all of our people came in town a couple of days early. And I'm glad we're back at the racetrack. This celebrating has been is wearing us down.
Ty, we appreciate it. I've mentioned on this show a couple of times, we were fortunate enough to get you on back in February, and the success that Trackhouse has had since, as Chris said, with Ross Chastain picking up a couple of wins and Daniel Suarez most recently out at Sonoma. We're kind of taking a little credit for that. So just for what that's worth. Yeah, I wanted to ask you, how were the pit stops yesterday?
Well, they say, failure is an orphan and success has many fathers. So if you want to be the father of the success, you go ahead and jump right in there. We'll give you all the credit you want and deserve. But yeah, we took our 99 pit crew down in front of Tootsie's on Broadway yesterday, and they were gracious enough to let us go over there and showcase these athletes. They talk about the drivers all the time, the crew chiefs all the time, the owners all the time. But, when you start talking about, in some cases, up to a couple hundred people who are preparing cars and pitting cars and getting everyone healthy enough to come and do this on a week-to-week basis, it was really neat to be able to showcase those athletes. And, the Nashville streets Broadway is always packed. However, it was really awesome to see a race car and all the excitement of the fans and non-fans who were just going like, what in the world is going on Broadway? and they couldn't. At first, they couldn't figure out, and then they were so excited, and they called their friends, and next thing you know, the sidewalks were just jam packed, and so we had a great experience down there. And Tootsie's has means so much to us because as a Nashville-based organization, we wanted last Nashville race, the first Nashville race last year, to be the quintessential Nashville look and feel, and nothing is more quintessential Nashville than Tootsie's Orchid Lounge.
That's probably accurate. It's interesting because, this is kind of, with you now living in Middle Tennessee, it's kind of your hometown race. And like you said, there's a lot of extra stuff that goes on when you're in your hometown because you feel like you have to be the host. You are you're the person who has to entertain folks. And so it makes it a little bit difficult, how does that impact, the preparation throughout the week? Is it make it a little bit more challenging on Sunday?
Well, it could if you let it, but we have incredible staff, and so this week has gone in this order. Monday we had a lot of different meetings and preparation coming back from the off weekend, it's our only off weekend. We raced 38 out of 39 weekends from February to November, and this was our only weekend off, and so a lot of people took advantage of that, and they came back Monday ready to go and still celebrating that we had won the last race that was run. And then Tuesday we typically once a month have these things called Trackhouse Tuesdays, where all the employees get together and commune, whether it's the fabricators and the accountants to the engineers and the pit crew and the maintenance crew and the executives. It's always a great event. Well, this event we had a great visitor. Pitbull came in, he's a partner and co-owner of the team, and he happened to be in North Carolina, and so he came over and spent a couple, 3 hours in the shop, seeing everybody, talking to everybody, taking pictures of everybody, smashing piñatas with Daniel Suarez, just a heck of a celebration. And so that was Tuesday. And then Wednesday night, we came to Nashville and hosted our partners at the rooftop at the West End at L27, and then went to the Country Music Hall of Fame all day yesterday and had an incredible session with our summit session with all of our sponsors, with Steve Phelps, president of NASCAR, people from NBC. And then last night we did host. We hosted the whole industry on the rooftop of Tootsie's. And so, we have so many amazing things going on. They're all positive. The vibe around the organization is positive. The vibe around Nashville and its embracing NASCAR is just so refreshing. So it was an incredible week, and now we get to come back to the racetrack and try to win more trophies and try to create some more excitement.
If you're fortunate enough to be able to see us on video, JP has pulled up some of the video from the pit stops from yesterday. Man, it's impressive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
pretty amazing to watch.
We have guys who are former NFL athletes. The tire carrier on there was a linebacker in the NFL. Corey's a former lacrosse player. We have guys who are Olympic swimmers. So we have guys who are used to putting sweat on the floor, working their butts off, and getting prepared to do professional athlete things. And that's what they do every Sunday for us. And it's just a real pleasure to watch them do their work.
Will they be wearing cowboy hats on Sunday? That
was the coolest thing. I showed up. I was like, I know you guys aren't going to try to change tires and cowboy boots, but boy, they all went. They landed. They went straight and got hats, and they played it up. And those hats were seen on Broadway last night till about 1:30, I think. So we finally made them go to bed and told them, all right, you don't have to pit till Sunday, but you guys, those hats were they got the use out of those hats last night. It was a lot of fun.
This guy sliding in on the passenger back tire right there. That's a boss move right there.
I'm telling you, people do not understand how athletic you do have to be a pit crew member. And like you said, Ty, I mean, you've got former athletes, at the highest level athletes, and this is the highest level of NASCAR. And really, when you look back at the way that this first season has gone for Trackhouse, How do you put in words how impressive this team has been from top to bottom?
It's a humbling time, but I get a lot of text messages with references to this particular thing I'm going to say. People said, one day you'll look back at these days and say, these are the best. These are the best times. These are the good old days. We're living the good old days, and too often you don't recognize it until it's too late, and they used to be your days, right? So we have been front and center with to everyone to say this is a very, very special moment in time for this young organization to be coming to the racetrack every week, to be competitive every week, and then to have won 3 of the first 16 races this year. Both have 2 drivers who entered the season who'd never won a race, and now they're both winners and also locked into the playoffs. And I would just say these are the good old days, and we recognize them now, and we appreciate them, but we do live by 2 words: being hungry and humble. And the moment that we believe that we have everything figured out is the moment we start trailing and getting behind. And if we think that we can just rest on those 3 wins and say this is a great season, then we will have let ourselves and our partners down, and we don't do that.
Ty Norris with Trackhouse Racing with us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Ty, you mentioned you guys have won 3 of 16 races thus far. Obviously, you feel like you have got a shot to win it every time you go out on the track. But what is it about this weekend in particular that makes you feel good about Ross and Daniel and their chances here at Nashville?
Well, there's probably 2 things. Trackhouse is nothing without Chevrolet. We're nothing without the partnership the key partnership we have with Chevrolet as a factory back team, and what they do with their aero teams, what they do with their design teams, their simulation teams, and excuse me. There's no way we exist, and we're not even a storyline without Chevrolet. And just knowing what they have done, Chevrolet has done to help us prepare for this weekend. We did sim runs we're in simulator this week, and the drivers coming here with a ton of confidence. First of all, second of all, Ross finished 2nd here last year. Daniel finished 7th here last year, and our program is better. Our cars are better. We're in better position against the field, and so we have a lot of confidence coming to this particular track, and we feel like we'll be in the mix as we have traditionally been the last, couple 3 months.
That is one of the things that makes Trackhouse, so impressive, is how well that they have kind of gelled so quickly. And this weekend we spoke with Heather Williams of WCYB TV earlier this week. And Ty, before we let you go, just one thing. This is a unique track in Nashville, concrete, super speedway.
Yes.
Yeah. Obviously, tire management is going to be key. How much have you guys been at Nashville since you do have a home base here in Middle Tennessee? Do you guys get a chance to be out there a little more than maybe some other teams?
Well, NASCAR has instituted a no testing policy, so there's been no testing.
Sure.
No one's been on the track. No one's. And I have only been out here 1 time since the race, and that's just because of my friendship with Eric Moses and Austin Hahn. So I don't have any other reason to come out here. We don't learn anything by looking at the racetrack. So none of us have had any advantage of actually physically being on the racetrack. But but like I said, Chevrolet with their simulation, incredible simulation program, we can make laps around Nashville Speedway all day long, but just happens to be in Charlotte, North Carolina. But yeah, I mean, the last concrete track we raced on was Dover, the sister track to this, or somewhat sister track to this, to Nashville. And Ross and Daniel both competed for top 5s. I believe Daniel finished 4th or 5th, and Ross, I believe Ross finished 3rd, maybe. So we totally anticipate these guys will be able to get to this concrete track and adopt quickly.
Ty Norris Trackhouse Racing. Looking forward to this weekend. Ally 400 Nashville Super Speedway, 4 o'clock on NBC. We said
NBC.
That's right. All right, Ty.
NBC, they're taking over, and I'm looking out across all those motorhomes sitting out there. So I hope everybody can come out here and enjoy the weekend. Tootsie's has a big infield lounge. You can go down to the infield lounge and get a taste of Broadway out here at the racetrack. So it's going to be a great weekend for everybody. I hope everybody can make it.
We'll definitely be rooting for you, Ty. So we appreciate you taking some time with us this afternoon. Ty Norris.
And we're going to take all the credit for all the wins the rest of the year.
There we go.
All right. Hey, listen, if we blow up 10 straight races, I'm calling you because you're also going to take the blame.
That's fair.
That's absolutely
That's
fair.
fair.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Ty.
Thanks, guys. All right, bye.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to look back to last night and the NBA draft and try to come up with what happened. What did the Grizzlies do? We'll try to explain it. It's very difficult. And then
we'll try to explain it.
I'm going to let JP deal with it. He figured it out earlier, so I think we got it.
Okay.
And then we will look ahead to what's coming up this weekend, what we're looking forward to. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone, and join us back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today. A final segment here. Boy, those Tootsies, lavender, I guess they're purple, but a light purple. It's sharp. Orchid? Yeah, orchid color, of course. The Tootsie's orchid. Yes. It's like an eggplant. Eggplant has its own color. But it was sharp. I tell you, talking with Ty, Mo was just commenting that he actually does talk NASCAR a little more than we lead people to believe here on this show. I tell you,
not a lot more.
Well, but still, after talking with Ty or hearing Ty on the show, I'm a fan. And the home, the Middle Tennessee connection, that Tootsie's paint scheme or wrap scheme, technically, I guess.
I'm sure. Yeah.
It's not really paint, but it's a wrap. But anyway, I'll be paying attention, obviously, and I will be pulling for the Trackhouse Racing. So I just started following Team Trackhouse on Twitter, which is where I got that video from.
So I am didn't really have a driver over the last few years. Jimmy Johnson was kind of my guy. I never really picked anybody else after that. And, I've been rooting for Bubba Wallace, obviously the Alabama connection there. And, but slowly but surely all season long, Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez have absolutely showed me that they are a team worth rooting for.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now with obviously Ty being gracious enough to come on the show a couple of times, I think Trackhouse that's my team.
Yeah.
Pitbull, baby, Mr. Worldwide.
They're kind of the hometown team. And as he mentioned, Chastain finished third at Dover, Suarez 14th. So they have some experience
on the concrete
and some experience success on the concrete. So
we have to go back to yesterday and I said looking back. We're gonna look back on the NBA, but we have to look back on something else. Yesterday was Dr. Kevin Dyson's birthday, so we have to give a shout out to
Dr. Dyson.
Dr. Dyson over there on the corner of.
I would say give him a little nod, but
no,
the experience we've had with him, we don't want to knock him over.
We're not touching Dr. Dyson's head anymore in this studio. So Kevin's had his struggles amongst this bunch.
Yeah,
so
mostly amongst me, but yeah.
Well, I was trying to be nice.
I appreciate that, Mo.
Yeah.
His right arm still sitting in the windowsill of our former studio.
The one-armed Dr. Dyson, huh?
Yeah, he's one-armed Dr. Dyson.
We'll find some Gorilla Glue at some point, maybe.
Maybe I can swing through Centennial and see if he's got any extras of those laying around.
We'll trade it for
Maybe he's got some new ones with his bow tie. Didn't he wear a bow tie?
Yes, he's a big
he may be the most
dressed.
dapper
Yeah.
principal in WCS.
Yeah, look better.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Of course, Shane Pantal is one of the other options, and that ain't happening. So.
Yeah, well, Jeremy Qualls was always pretty sharp dressed, even if he did wear tennis shoes with the suits.
Well,
but when you're an athletics director, you that's kind of the thing.
He's
right?
from Centerville, so you got to make some concessions there for JQ.
Golly, how about that? This is Centerville out here catching stray.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure. Well, anyway, where were you going?
Nowhere particularly, but I did want to look back.
Happy birthday to Dr. Dyson.
Yes,
yes,
happy birthday
belated.
to Dr. Dyson. I saw it. He had retweeted a tweet about his birthday yesterday, but he did it today, so that's why I didn't know it was his birthday yesterday. So there we go. Last night, NBA draft, we spoke with Drew Hill of the Daily Memphian yesterday to get an idea on what the Memphis Grizzlies might do, and just as we expected, nobody had a clue. So
the only certainty was there were no certainties. Yeah,
100%. So at some point last night, the Memphis Grizzlies owned Walker Kessler of Auburn and Ty Washington of Kentucky.
At some point last night. Not today.
But not today. No.
Today.
JP,
Yes.
kind of we figured out the four players that they have. Tell us what exactly happened that we have kind of figured out.
Okay, here's what I found, and of course I tried to go to the source here, NBA.com/Grizzlies or Grizzlies.com, their official website. This is from their press room. It came out for these in about 15 minutes, shortly after 2 a.m. Central Time. But here's what we believe to know about what happened last night. In the
serious disclaimer there, right?
Yes. In the first round, the Grizzlies acquired the draft rights to forward Jake LaRavia, the number 19 overall pick in this year's draft, and a future second-round draft pick from the Minnesota Timberwolves for the draft rights to Walker Kessler, which the Grizzlies selected at 22, and guard Ty Washington at 29. So, in essence, they traded their 22nd and 29 selections of those players
for the
19th selection of LaRavia to Minnesota. So that was the first round move. They traded those 2 first-round picks for 1 at 19.
Well, that wasn't the only first-round move, though, because they traded DeAnthony Melton for the Sixers' first-round pick at 23, and that's where they took
big body David Roddy.
Thank you.
So that's according to the Grizzlies, that was so that answers a little question about the trade to be finalized later. That sheds some light on that because that's what we have with Roddy. So that's where that went. So according on the Grizzlies website, as of now, it was
so they don't have Roddy then on their website at this point.
No, they do. It says a part of a trade to be finalized later.
He was the player to be named later. Right?
No. What Mo just mentioned is the player or to be named later.
David Roddy.
Roddy is on the Grizzlies.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They acquired the draft rights to forward David Roddy, the number 23 pick.
In exchange
for what Mo just mentioned.
Anthony Melton.
Correct.
Right.
So there we go.
Anthony Melton was already on the team.
Right.
He was not a draft.
Right. So they traded DeAnthony Melton for the rights to the 23 pick.
Correct.
Which was
they traded a roster spot and got Roddy.
Now they got a second-round pick from in that LaRavia trade. They gave a second-round pick to get Kennedy Chandler. Most likely will be the same second-round pick.
Yes, to Kennedy Chandler, of course, of the Tennessee Vols.
Of Briarcrest, didn't he get former Memphis high school?
And SEC tournament MVP. Yep.
Yes.
So the Grizzlies acquired the draft rights to Kennedy Chandler, who was selected at 38 overall last night in the second round. By the Spurs.
Now, this pick, because I'm sitting here looking at CBSSports.com, Memphis Grizzlies from Lakers via Bulls, Wizards, and Spurs. Point guard Kennedy Chandler, Tennessee.
How many people can have a pick?
Yeah.
I guess when you only have 2 rounds, those picks can go crazy.
They get traded because for future picks. There's always trades for future picks, and it's based on how they finish.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of time there are contingencies on those picks. So when you make those trades, sometimes you don't know exactly when you're going to go, and depending on if it goes higher, you may keep it, or if it goes lower, there are a lot of contingencies. So you don't always know that. But yeah, ultimately Kennedy Chandler, they made a second round trade to get him at 38 with the Spurs for that pick and a 2024 second round that that Mo mentioned. Ultimately, via the Los Angeles Lakers, apparently that pick had been handed around quite a few times. No one wants that pick.
Clearly,
no one wants that second round 2024 pick. So that's where they got him, and then they did end up with a full second round, their 47th pick, which is what they had, and they selected Vince Williams, who played at VCU with that 47th pick. So he was selected the All-Atlantic 10 first team, averaged 14 points, 6 rebounds, and so. But so they kept that 47th pick, and they selected Vince Williams.
And Vince Williams is a little bit of a unicorn, man. This guy played 4 years at VCU.
6'6", 205 forward.
You don't see that every day.
Yeah. 21 years old. He's from Toledo, Ohio. So that's
So to recap, the Grizzlies currently have Wake Forest guard Jake LaRavia, Colorado State guard David Roddy, Tennessee guard Kennedy Chandler, and VCU forward Vince Williams. Those are the 4 players that the Grizzlies have on their team after last night, and all the trades have been completed. This is who is on the Grizzlies team,
to the best of our knowledge.
Those are the new additions.
There you go.
Because of last night's draft.
And Drew Hill, DREW Hill, did make a point when we spoke to him yesterday. They've got some height deficient guys in the backcourt.
Right. So LaRavia as a swing man certainly going to help.
But I'm
Body should help.
I'm kind of looking at Kennedy and Ja, and
don't know how that works.
And you don't know if Tyus Jones is coming back or what that situation is, but it'll be interesting how that works out and how opponents scheme to take advantage when you've got multiples of those guys on the floor at the same time.
Short guards, talk about unicorns in the league now. Short 6-foot guards are just rarely seen. So Anyway, JP, what are you looking forward to this weekend?
Looking forward to this weekend. Oh, got a little wedding celebration.
Here in town for soup?
Yes. The destination wedding. So they're having.
We didn't even get invited to the in-town celebration. Jeez.
I knew I shouldn't have said, but I am looking forward to that. I want to be honest about it, so yeah, looking forward to it. So,
we're coming.
You should.
I meant we're coming for you.
Yeah. Come on down. Come on down. You can be my guest.
Mo, we're his +2.
Yeah, right.
Mo, what are you looking forward to?
I am not looking forward to driving to Winston-Salem, but I mean, once we get there, I guess it'll be all right. But,
I'll be watching the USFL.
Okay.
Playoffs,
Yes,
baby.
you will. Yes, you will.
It's the playoffs.
I am looking forward to the race on Sunday.
I am
Just
too.
seeing Nashville on display. It's always fun to see Nashville on display, and now again having talked to Ty Norris and the Trackhouse Racing, and
I like how they
got somebody to follow now.
I like how they have the number 1 and the number 99.
I love that too.
I wonder if that's by design.
It has to be, right?
I like that too.
First and last, Trackhouse.
Like we are the alpha and the omega.
There you go. I'll certainly be keeping an eye on both Ross and Daniel, and of course on Bubba Wallace. We'll see how that works out. But also again, this College World Series Championship Series starting up tomorrow.
We'll just wait for Monday on that one.
Hotty toddy.
We'll be back on Monday with or without Mo. We don't know. So come back. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Main Street Sports Day presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint for JP and Mo.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend